So, how great leaders build respect without losing themselves. In today's live stream, we're going to be exploring what great leaders are doing in a changing landscape of work where being a leader is getting to be more complicated than ever. So joining me today is my team at In Charge Coaching. And if we're just getting to know each other, I want to take a moment to reintroduce myself. This is our first live stream in 2025, so it's exciting. My name is Melissa. I'm a management consultant and an executive coach. And what I do on a day-to-day basis, so what this looks like in my life is working with managers, executive leaders at different levels, and I partner with them to help them build the skills, the confidence, the trust, and the respect with their team so that they can create self-managed employees, self-managed teams so they can get their time back. And they can start focusing on their zone of genius, which is the strategy, which is having an impact on the bigger picture. And so joining me today, again, my team. So Ghislain, what do you do? Oh, we just lost him. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so for those still getting to know me, I'm Kay and I'm Melissa and Gislan's right hand as the client solutions specialist. And what that means is that I help in charge coaching deliver value to leaders like you. I am the lead on organizing public facing learning opportunities like this masterclass on boundaries and balance. And I'll be here to support you with any tech issues, coordinate Q&As, and provide any materials to ensure you get the most out of this experience. Oh, and Gislan's back.
He's back.
Technical problems.
Technical issues. Welcome to 2025.
Yeah.
So Ghislain, would you go ahead and introduce yourself or who's joining us? Oh, he keeps having issues.
Yeah.
With his live stream. Okay. Well, that's okay. We'll roll with that. So getting leadership today is changing. It's evolving. Kay, I'm curious, as you've been here for the past 3 months and you've been learning a whole lot, what are you learning about leadership and what are you learning about how it's evolving from the employee perspective?
Yeah. So I think while coming back to the topic of boundaries and balance, I feel like these are two very underrated aspects of leadership, but absolutely essential. I feel like as an employee, or and I can imagine that for a leader as well, like we're juggling the expectations of our teams, of let's say upper management, and even ourselves. So it can feel impossible to meet them all without burning out or without sometimes like disrespecting our own boundaries and sometimes even not knowing what they are or where we stand with them. So what I really love about this topic is how it is empowering leaders to regain control over their time, their energy, and not just for leaders, like for anybody who works or even just like a person yourself as a human being. It just allows you to get to know all of that while still building trust and respect around or like within the team. So I feel like boundaries personally and professionally are not just about saying no, but they're about saying yes to everything that what really matters. So whether it's focusing on high impact goals or supporting our team or just like our mental peace. So feel like it's yes to all of that and no to a very few things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so you're bringing up, as you're talking about leadership, you're bringing up this idea of boundaries. And it has been a really important topic in the coaching calls I've had especially in the past year. So I see
Mhm.
increasing need to set boundaries. So boundaries as a one of the many things that we need to take care of as leaders, and something that's hard to do when we're busy and we are balancing a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, in terms of leadership, one thing that I've been noticing is this rise of the conversation around leadership. So, we have more books, more podcasts, more TED Talks, more posts on social media. So, there is a rise in the conversation around leadership, which is really, really exciting for me, right?
Yeah.
Part of that's exactly the heart of what I do on a day-to-day basis. So there is a lot of excitement around, like, hey, we're having this really important conversation, and we are now holding our leaders and ourselves as leaders to different standards, which is beautiful. And as a whole and as a society, this is really important if we want to create thriving workplaces where people are going to feel good, feel internally motivated to show up to work and to do their best. And what we know about leadership is leadership will impact our engagement. In fact, there's great studies that 6 Seconds has done where we see that an EQ scores of a leader predicts 76% of variance in employee engagement. Okay.
Mhm.
So if we're looking at, what do we need? What's our role? Well, employee engagement and getting results working through employees is part of that. And we have, as leaders, have a lot to do with how much engagement we're getting or not getting. So
Yeah.
it's really empowering to know that, and also a little frightening, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so as expectations rise and we get clearer on what this role of leadership is, well, employees are also, participating in this discussion. They're also taking in this information, and all of a sudden we're walking into the workplace with not just having expectations of ourselves and the expectations of our higher management, but we also have a rising expectations of employees, what they value in leaders, what they expect of leaders, what they want to see. And as we do surveys across organizations, we hear the lack of leadership as being one of the number one problems that employees identify.
Mhm.
So, talk about turning up the heat.
Yeah.
Beautiful things. We're working on our competencies. We're building those really essential leadership skills because now we're putting a focus on it, and yet now we're being measured to a different level by our employees, and the expectations are rising.
Yeah, they definitely are.
And then on the opposite end of the opposite end of the coin is higher management hasn't changed their expectations. You deal with the people,
Mhm.
deal with people, and get the work done. That's the expectation. And then it comes with a stop being so soft. Don't be their friend. You're the boss. Get it done. So it really puts you between, a rock and a hard place as a leader. So she says, internet has gone down. I see it's back up. Welcome back.
Thank you. Don't say that too loud.
So I just went ahead and started that conversation on leadership. So Gisin, who are you? Who are you in charge coaching? And what are your thoughts on the changes in leadership in the past few years?
Well, my name is Ghislain. I've been working with Melissa for a while now as a director of client solutions, and I work with organizations and individuals who want to explore or keep their development journey alive and work on competencies that are important to them in their development professionally and personally. So I'm here to act as a guide in your path and find how Melissa could best complement your development. And Melissa, your question around leadership development over the last few years, coming from a leadership background, you can say that there's a lot of very common common issues or things that are present within various organizations, and it all kind of revolves around how to build trust within organizations and deal with change. But within those main topics, there are things that we can isolate, like why we're here today around like setting boundaries and in order to kind of create that respectful environment, but doing so in a way that isn't detrimental to the culture and builds kind of keeps fostering that trusting environment and ultimately create high functioning teams, right? So that's really what's top of mind for me when you ask that question.
Absolutely. And really what we've done as a team is at the end of the year, we did a review on our clients for the year and the themes and the topics that were coming up and the things that behind the scenes I've been helping people with, and boundaries, being top of that list. And what becomes really hard about boundaries is when you are attempting to be a servant leader, a transformational leader, all of these ideas of leadership that you're picking up and integrating, and you really start anchoring yourself in this, I'm here for the people. And it's very easy to start sacrificing yourself for the people. So the leaders that I'm working with, mainly they're burning out. They're tired. It's a hard juggling act. And it's not just the people who are starting in leadership. I'm not talking about newbies. I'm not talking about somebody who's just starting out. I'm talking about people who've been doing this for 20, 30 years. We're burning out and we can't maintain this. And then when we start talking about, okay, well, let's protect your energy. Let's protect, you need to be able to show up for them. Fill your own cup. And these are all things that is not new to anyone. And yet it's so hard to do. We start encountering this, but how do I communicate these boundaries without losing the relationship, without getting the backlash, without employees getting mad or somehow disengaging or quitting? I need to keep the relationship, which is really important. Yes, absolutely. Keep the relationship. That is a big part of your job, is maintaining those relationships. So how do you do that and still have boundaries? Now, boundaries, talk about different types of boundaries, right? There's the personal boundaries about your time and your focus and your energy. But then we have boundaries around how we relate to each other between our roles, like how Gislain and I relate to each other versus how Kay and I relate to each other, and how we relate to each other, even just a team meeting like we had just before this live stream. There are certain boundaries around the way that we are relating to each other in our roles. Then we can talk about boundaries in our way of working, right? There are certain ways. Gislain has his way of working, Kay has hers, I have mine, and we need to have boundaries, each of us, around that. And then there's the business context boundaries. There are certain things that we can do and not do in this business context. And that's why it's so important. It is important to be able to communicate this with clarity. So you need to be clear first. One, you need to be able to communicate it with confidence, right? And say it in a way, mean what you say without being mean. And finally, you need to be able to maintain. A lot of times what I'll hear is, oh, I said it, and they're not respecting it. Okay. Are you respecting the boundaries? Are you respecting your boundaries? How are you maintaining your boundaries? And that respect and maintenance starts with you. So Kay and Jason, I'm going to open it up to you. I've just like dropped a whole bunch of bombs here. Gold nuggets, not bombs, gold nuggets or truth bombs, whatever you prefer. What's coming up for you?
For me, Melissa, you made a lot of great points, and I think the last one you mentioned, where being able to set boundaries properly or without ruffling feathers is one thing. Just to have that very transparent relationship where you can build trust, but making sure that, or how do you enforce them or reinforce them as your relationship or as your day-to-day evolves, whether in a professional or personal setting. I'm sure everybody that's tuning in or that'll watch this is wondering how do we do this, how do we navigate through it all. So I know there's going to be a lot more golden nuggets that you'll share here, and I'm interested to hearing them as well. So I'm sure everybody tuning in is.
Yeah. Okay, any thoughts that are coming up for you?
Yeah, like I've seen firsthand how like unclear boundaries or lack of balance can lead to miscommunication. So you pointed that out very like spot on. And when leaders like set clear boundaries and maintain balance, I feel like it sets a tone for the entire team, and the team feels more supported and more like the trust grows, and the entire workplace becomes a space where people can thrive and not just like survive another day. So I feel like that brings me to the masterclass. I feel like this is such a powerful opportunity for leaders to learn how to align their values with, proven strategies and actions, and build teams that respect and reflect those values. I'm very excited for everyone to take away these strategies, actionable strategies that will not just help you as a leader, but also transform how your team work and grow together. So, yeah.
So the big announcement, we have a masterclass.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, maybe like I did a subtle announcement there, but
So this is exactly what we've done during or pre-holidays. We took a good 2 weeks off and refreshed and replenished ourselves. But before the holidays, we did this review of what is needed at this point. What do leaders need? And the thing we kept coming back to was boundaries. So we've decided to kick off this year with offering a free masterclass called Boundaries and Balance: How Great Leaders Build Respect Across the Organization Without Losing Themselves in the Process. So this is going to be a 2-hour masterclass happening
on January 28th at 12 p.m. EST.
Perfect. So if you are interested in gaining more confidence and clarity around how to communicate boundaries and how to step out of maybe people-pleasing patterns, any people pleasers out there? If we're looking to be able to communicate those boundaries in a fair and firm way and build a bridge between you and your employees where the relationship grows and the engagement and the productivity grows as a result of you setting boundaries. If you're looking for respect, accountability, self-responsibility, self-management from your employees, this is a non-negotiable ingredient. So if you want to learn how to do this, join our masterclass on January 28th. All you need to do is register. We do have a limited number of seats, so you'll want to go ahead and book it. If you cannot attend, if you're looking at your calendar, you can sign up and get the recording. But those who show up in person will receive some bonuses, some extra little tidbits. So you'll want to join live if you can. All right. So can you drop in the comments, Kay, the link to register? So if it doesn't appear right now in the comments, we will circle back and do that in a moment. Gisa, anything you want to add to this opportunity?
Well, I think anybody that's tuned in that's curious to learn more about how to set boundaries and create that positive environment where you could foster trust in a business setting or even at home. It's free, so sign up, and we're looking forward to having everybody there because there's going to be a lot more. We're going to go a little deeper than today. So if anybody has any questions on how to sign up, I know Kay's going to be dropping the link. I'm also available for any questions or any additional insight you'd want ahead of the 28th. So feel free to reach out to us. We want as many people, or we want every seat to be taken for the masterclass. So.
Absolutely. So if you want to make 2025 your year, you want to lead with more confidence, more clarity, better communication, more influence, and gain back your energy, your time, your freedom, your focus. Join us. Bring the intent, bring yourself. I'll bring the strategy and the tools, and we're going to have great fun together. So register, and I'll see you on the 28th. Bye.